So I've been reading this phenomenal book. I picked it up at the store at one of the malls out here, and it's called How to Read People, okay? And I opened the book and I could not stop reading it. I'm halfway through. I just purchased it yesterday. And one area that stood out that is a clear reflection of entrepreneurs and what I've been preaching on this channel as a business owner. If you don't know, I'm Tiffany Garside, founder of a 9-year-old copywriting firm that is a strategic advisory for finance, real estate, and e-commerce, okay? And so this book, it was talking about overcompensation, and it displayed it in a way that makes so much sense, because I always talk about how on this channel, and even I talked about this since 2018. There's actually a blog I wrote back in 2018 that was like, your brand is more than colors and logos. I'll try to pull it out of the archive and link it down below at tiffygwrites.co, okay? But after working with over 230 different businesses and working with very successful firms, so I've worked both on the super small business side, medium side, and then large successful firms, and I've noticed something. New entrepreneurs typically overcompensate if they feel they do not have a high quality skill set. What do I mean by overcompensate? They will overcompensate with extra branding, extra colors, extra logos, extra makeup, extra this, extra that. That's trying to be extra in almost every area of their business, trying to be overly seen. Now, when I started my business, I did not take that approach because I have an innate ability to write very, very well. I studied copywriting for years, okay? Worked in marketing agencies, saw the results that I was able to produce for clients with the written word, and it heightened my confidence level because I was able to get results very quickly after year one in business, working in these marketing agencies. And so in the book, he was talking about how overcompensation happens with insecurity. And so you may find yourself in an area of overcompensation and perfectionism. Those two things love each other and marry each other. Overcompensating and perfectionism, which is just a cover for an insecurity. So you probably already know your website copy is probably not written very well. So you're like, well, let me just overcompensate and look into some new logos, get a new podcast mic, get a new this, get a new that. But the area that you need to be focused on is your message, strategic communications, copywriting. Without the proper message, your audience does not trust you. This is why you can see businesses have the most beautiful colors, beautiful logos, beautiful mock operations type of things, and then they're out of business just a couple of years later. So it's like, without the message, you have no business. Without understanding your ideal client, and if you're like, okay, how do I create a proper message for my business? Well, you have to decide to speak to one person and to speak to one issue that they're having and to describe it in detail. This is what we do in Black Educators Amplified during the 20 question framework weeks 1 and 2. And I always tell clients, this is the foundation for everything that we do in your firm. This is the foundation for your website copy. This is the foundation for the 3 to 6 month content marketing calendar that I help you to create in weeks 7 and 8. This is the foundation for the video module that my husband comes in to teach. And our most successful clients that already have their YouTube channels up are in healthcare. And there's something, and I keep saying this, there's something about healthcare and academia that relates well to business. People that are used to going to college, are used to obtaining a certain level of success, know that it takes diligence, know that the work does not work if you don't work it. Meaning, you have to be accountable to the program you come into. If you're not accountable to yourself and the program that you come into, there's no point in coming. You might as well just stay where you're at and stay doing whatever you're doing. But if you're reaching a level in business as a new entrepreneur, you have your LLC, you have your business idea, you've been getting maybe 1 to 5 clients, you have somewhat of a proof of concept, but you need help to refine the message, to pull those strings together and make everything come together seamlessly, then Black Educators Amplified could be right for you. We are on cohort 6 that is happening April 27th at 2 p.m. We're going for 8 weeks. Previous alumni to Black Educators Amplified have been functional medicine providers, of falls prevention specialists that actually used to work as a speech pathologist, but also had that industry expertise of working with falls and preventing falls in the older population, I used to do that, so it was super easy to create her website copy. She was phenomenally shocked. Like, she was like, oh my goodness, how did you write this like this? And I'll try to leave a like a mock description or a mock portfolio down below of that healthcare content. Mental health therapists, massage therapists, we're getting a lot of healthcare people. And then of course, reading, education, tutors. Typically, we have people that are in reading comprehension. I haven't had a lot of math or science for whatever reason. Typically, it's the reading comprehension people that are coming in, okay? And then people that are in the arts, people, whatever your expertise is in, you can learn how to package it and to produce a business that is in demand and in the market, but you do need to know what is in demand. So you can't just come out and say, well, I want to do this just because I want to do this. We need to do that target market research during the 20 question framework to see what's really in demand, what is the audience saying that they need, what is going on in the market for you to meet that need. And you get to take that 9 years of experience that I have and apply it to your small business. That is priceless, because there is no one on the face of this planet that has had the exact experience that I have had working with companies like Clever Education Technology, African Ancestry, Black Girl Sunscreen, tax relief firms, realtors in San Diego, real estate investors who are on HGTV. I've reached a high level of success, quiet success, in my freelancing career, in my business. And it's all based on the message. It's totally 100% based on the message. Because let me tell you, I don't have a color palette. I am literally not big on graphics. I am concerned about one thing as a writer: messaging, strategy. That's the one thing, okay? And when I was reading that book, it was like, oh man, overcompensation. That is what traps entrepreneurs. If you are overcompensating and you feel guilty deep down inside because you know your message has not been critiqued, it has not been refined, you barely wrote out a business plan, you tried to have ChatGPT write out the business plan, and you're still wondering, why do people not take my business seriously? You're like, I can't get clients to pay me. They won't take me serious. There's no way people are gonna take you serious when they're reading ChatGPT content that you barely even took the time to copy edit, number one. You barely know how to speak to that one main client. You barely wanna niche down. You barely want to serve at a higher capacity and a higher caliber, but you're like, why won't clients pay me? You need to ask yourself the difficult question. Is what I'm offering worth paying for? Is the message that I'm putting out there worth paying for? Have I created a portfolio, a body of work that people can binge? People can binge our Black Educators Amplified playlist. People can binge the blogs that I wrote in our other business, Tiffy G Writes. Since 2017, writing every single month. I might go on a hiatus for 4 months at the most, but that's about it. You can go back and binge all of that content. You can see testimonials that have been built up. You can see case studies that have been built up. You can see a portfolio of work that makes it easy to sell. Okay, and when I say easy to sell, I mean, one, repeat clients will come and seek me out and say, hey, let's work together again. And new clients will read my website and say, oh, I know that you're the right person for me because you're very specific in this area. You focus on storytelling. I know that's what I'm missing. That's a niche, okay? And so if you're overcompensating, give yourself grace, take a deep breath. Most humans do it at some point in their life, but you need to decide from here, do I want to continue to overcompensate and not have anything to show for it, i.e. not have a boutique firm of 5 to 10 clients that I love working with at $1,000 plus per month per client? Or do I want to take the higher road that may be difficult at first? It's hard to wrap your mind around niching down when you've been in the W-2, when you've been, seeing all this, you're on social media, getting distracted. What I always tell clients is when you come into Black Educators Amplified, focus. Do not get emails from anybody else. Do not receive emails from other business coaches. Do not look into other marketing strategies because it's going to dilute your focus, okay? There are so many marketing strategies out there, and the truth is literally all of them work. The real question is, what can you do in your capacity and what fits your personality? because networking works, but I'm an introvert writer, and so it would waste my time to network when I can get the same and better results with copywriting and writing my website and connecting with people on social media. Networking works, but is that the best use of your time? Facebook ads work, but do you have $5,000 to spend every month to keep up with those Facebook ads? Video marketing works, okay? Are you ready to show up? Blogging works. That's why I've been doing it all this time. People have this weird assumption that blogging is just a nice to have. I make sales from my blog because when people see it, it takes them through a higher caliber of content. Like, oh, she just wrote a 2,000 word blog on storytelling. She's got to be an expert. I need to work with her and at least get on a call to see what she can inform me about to make my finance firm, my tax relief, my DNA company, whatever it is, to make it better. And so with niching, and I also want to preference with this, we were doing a call last night with a copywriting advisory client, okay? And so that's one of the things that we don't typically put in the open. It's one of the behind the scenes. You have to already be in Write Your Way to Revenue, be a previous client, or totally be in tune to this channel via members only to get access to that, okay? But something that was coming up was niching down, okay? And I told her niching down has to happen in two ways. It either needs to be your work experience, because that's low-hanging fruit, or it needs to be something you're extremely passionate about. This is someone that used to be a teacher, okay? So of course for her, it would make sense to be a freelance writer for schools, online companies, tutoring companies, education tech companies, nonprofit organizations that focus on education. And the demand is there with the dissolution and the dilution of the Department of Education. Okay, so that's the first way, to look at your work history and niche down by experience. Next, I also had her go through an exercise like, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What's like your dream job that, like, if you didn't get paid, you would do it every single day? She wants to eventually write and publish children's books. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This is all within education. This is all one niche. So it seems like two separate things, but it's all within education. The niche is education, okay? And so I was telling her and providing some blogs that she's gonna be able to write and showing her how to write social media copy using the problem, agitate, solution process. And so I'm like, hey, you can write a blog called, 7 ways to homeschool your children in 2025, top 5 online tutoring academies in reading comprehension. Use these 4 tips to teach your 4th grader to read. Ideas just come off the top of my head. I'm a strategist, I'm a writer. She was able to apply that and see, oh, I have a lot of work to do, but this is excellent, because she also plans on moving to Africa in the next few months, okay? And so this is like the ideal time. Lastly, something that came up, she's like, I have so much to do. I'm moving, I'm preparing to move. I have all of this stuff and I just feel like I can't write right now. I feel like I don't know how to just sit down and strategize, even though I'm in this 12-week incubator with you, and she's like, so do you have any advice? And I told her, when I was traveling and getting ready to move to Tanzania from Ohio, and I was going through my consulting and had my advisor helping me, everything was happening also at the same time. What I would do, I would walk to Panera Bread in the mornings at 5:45 a.m. Yes, dedication. At 5:45 a.m. before anybody woke up, and I would sit there and do deep work, meaning I'm not checking my phone. If somebody comes to talk to me, I'm not talking to them. I'm not answering Facebook messages. I'm not on any social media. I'm focused on client work, writing. I'm focused on writing my blog. I'm focused on what I had to get done for the first 2 to 3 hours. Now, this was a super, super busy time, 2020 in our firm. We had so many clients. We were taking on 20 clients at one time. It was a lot, okay? I'm so happy I have elevated my rates to become more of a bespoke advisory, okay? Because we literally had 20 different clients, mostly in real estate, finance, and then who are a few others? There's mostly real estate and finance. But I'm going through this and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit at Panera Bread for 2 to 3 hours, and I'm gonna do deep work, okay? On my business, meaning social media captions. I'm gonna write my content, I'm gonna publish it, I'm gonna follow up with people, and I'm gonna write my blogs. In the afternoon, if I still had client work to do, I would take like an hour and a half to do that. That's your 4 to 5 hour work days. But your level of success is based on how much you can focus. Focus is a few different areas, focusing on niche, but then also being able to block out and focus your time. And if you're not good at this and you know you need accountability, you know you need to hear from someone who has done the thing repeatedly, successfully, and continues to do it for themselves and other firms, then you need to check out Black Educators Amplified and see if it is the right program for you. During the complimentary Black Educators Amplified session, we explore your work history to see if this could potentially be the right fit for your trajectory going forward. Because at the end of the day, Black Educators Amplified is not for everybody. It is not for people who do not value their voice. It's not for people who do not want to work. It's not for people who are looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not for people who don't want to take advice and don't want to become an education consultant. This is for serious people who can take advice and run with it, who can see the gaps, who can humble themselves and say, okay, maybe I'm weak in this area. Please give me a little bit of strategic advice in this area. That's what my clients do. And the relationship I have with all of them is fantastic, because they're people that are humble and they're in a state of like, hey, if I don't get this together like right now, then things aren't gonna look too good in the next few months. That was also the mindset I was in 2020. Like, if we don't get this business completely off the ground, bringing in 60,000 to 100K consistently year after year, then how are we gonna be able to live in Africa? And Africa, living in Africa and traveling the world was our main goal at that time. And so the focal point was like, I want to go to Africa, so I'm willing to wake up and write. I'm willing to strategize. I'm willing to pay top dollar for a consultant to come in and advise me and say, hey, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's uncomfortable when a consultant comes in and sees everything you've been doing, because then automatically, it's the funniest thing. Automatically, your consultant comes in. I still deal with this to this day. Automatically, if I'm filling out a form to work with my consultant again, or if you have experienced this, let me know down below. You're going through the form, you're working with your one-to-one consultant, and then all of a sudden you have so much clarity. You're like, oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. It's like you always knew what to do, but because somebody's looking at your business now and sees what you're doing, now you feel a little bit guilty and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it now. My bad, I'm gonna do it. But it's like the only person that you're sabotaging is yourself, because your consultant, they're already good. That's why you're coming to them. They're already where they need to be. But the only person that you sabotage is yourself when you overcompensate, when you're unwilling to be obedient to a strategy that is higher level than what you have been able to produce in your own life. And number 3, when you think you know it all. I was saying this on my Instagram at Tiffy G Writes. You can know all you want, but if you're not applying, do you really know it? It's the same thing with the Bible. It's the same thing with the Hebrew language. You can know all you want, but faith without works is dead. It takes action. Let's apply what you say you know. You say you know it. Show me you know it. Show me that you've produced those results. You say you know, yeah, I know social media. Well, why are you not posting? You say you know, oh, I know I can make sales on social media, but you're not able to. You say, oh, I know I need website copy, but when we read your website copy, we know it's written by AI, and that's why people don't take you serious. And they say to you, they want to negotiate, they want to say, oh, well, I just want this for free, or you offer it for free. Why? Because deep down your subconscious knows you did not put up something of quality. And so by default, you're like, well, let me just give it away for free. And you're like, well, why can't I attract clients? And it's like, just be honest with yourself. You did not properly go through the product marketing steps to bring a product to market and package it in a way that clients can gain results from. Our guarantee in our program is that you walk away with your website copy and your 3 to 6 month content marketing calendar, which enables you to book clients seamlessly. If you follow the roadmap, it's guaranteed success. If you're posting according to the calendar we create, again, from 9 years, 230 different businesses, knowing the market, knowing how the industry shifts and moves, knowing everything we know about sales psychology, copywriting, human buyer psychology, SEO, website content, email marketing, Facebook ads, because that's what we were going over last night for a client. Facebook ads, how to write them, because I've written dozens of Facebook ads at this rate, although I haven't done it in a while. That's something that I kind of let go of. I like email marketing more and website copy, but what you don't apply, you don't know. Like if you get to the test and you tell the teacher, you know, oh, I got an F, but I know it, they're gonna look at you like, but you don't. You don't. You may have said you studied, you may have said you knew the foundations, but when it gets to the test, which is the equivalent of you using your content marketing calendar and posting content and testing things out to see what drives traffic, if you say, oh yeah, I know to do that, I know to do that, you're only posting once a week, if that, you look at your website and you're like, I can tell a robot wrote this. Sometimes I have writers come into mentorship and they do an internship in the agency. And I'm like, hey, can you change this copy? I can tell that it's written by AI. I'm a writer. Why would you try to pull the wool over my eyes? It's like, I can tell it's written by AI. Let's go back and use a creative hook. But this is the issue in the age of AI. It's not an issue for me. It's an opportunity for me and other people who are willing to be strategic and intentional, because it gives us the ability to dominate the market. I don't really have any competition because nobody really likes to truly write anymore. And so clients come to me and it's a no-brainer. I'm always booked out in all seasons, turning some people away in the agency, signing multi-year contracts, because most writers are just pimping out their creative expertise, which is fine for me. That's fine. I'll have more clients, and those of us who are intentional will have more clients. But it is an atrocity for your business if you're treating it like that, because then it's never going to get off the ground, and you know it. And that's why you're watching this video, and this is why you're on YouTube University, how to make sales with websites, how to write website copy, how to start my marketing, how to be good with internet marketing, how to become an education consultant, how to market my education consultancy. Okay? Like, make it make sense. You know. But what are you applying? I'll see you in the next video. Shalom, shalom.